everybody. Today I'll be showing you how to make this animated hexagon. I hope you enjoy the video and please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or anything that you would like me to go over in the future. Thank you so much and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start with a sphere and I'm gonna dive in. Now I want to change the sphere from primitive to polygon. Then I am going to increase the frequency. Alright, then next I want to add a divide. So now, if you noticed, when you check smooth polygons, you'll have something like this. So what you can do is, like, you can do it in two ways. You can, one, do it like this, or you can turn this off and say compute dual, and we'll do it like that. So next I want to extrude it. So I'm gonna have a poly extrude. Poly extrude. And then I'm gonna extrude it outwards. Okay, that's working. Oh, you want the divide into individual pieces. So now you'll see something like this. I'm gonna put this back. Don't want that. And I am going to try this. Okay, so as you see, like, it's not doing it as individual pieces. So what you want to do is you need to come to the output side and uncheck that. So now when you see it, there is just a flat surface. So you can basically change the spaces between the each primitive by using the distance slider. Then after that, you can go to local control and check this one, the inset scale. Okay. Afterwards, I am going to make a attribute VOP. Okay. And now I am going to connect this, make sure to display it, and dive in. So first thing first, I want to do a multiply. And then I'm going to copy this and then connect this to the time, both of them. Okay, now I am going to add an AA noise. Actually, no, I'm gonna add a flow noise. Okay, so now I want to put the position into P, and then I am going to take this and then put it into the flow, and then after that I am going to do a fit range and then do it here. Okay, so then I want to multiply the fit with this multiply. apply. Then I am going to add them together after I multiplied them. So I'm going to add this one, and now I want to do a ramp parameter. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now I want to do a min, then attach this ramp to it, and then add a constant. Attach this to it, and put the constant to 1. Then I'm gonna bind it, and always. Then I'm gonna attach it to input. And then I'm attaching this to color. All right, that's pretty nice. So basically, what this will do when with the areas that it's black, it's gonna shrink, and in the areas that it's white, it's going to stay the same. So you can try this even to do the positioning of it. So when it's black, the position of it is at the center of the sphere, and when it's white, it's at the top. So what I am going to do is I want to promote some values here. So I'm going to middle mouse button and promote parameter. And then I'm gonna promote this one too, just to make sure. Okay. Then I'm going to the flow noise, and then I'm gonna promote the frequency, the offset, and amp. Alright, so let's check. Everything looks good. Alright, think that looks good. Okay, so let's take a look at it here. Alright, think it's working correctly. Yep, offset, amplitude. Okay. Alright, so now I want to do a primitive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do transform, and then I'm going to go to scale and use the color to basically either make it shrink or make it basically displace in position. So I am going to do the expression at CD, capital C, lowercase d, dot x. And then you want to do that, basically copy it to all of them. Okay, so now I'm going to choose this. Now if you see, if I play this, nothing happens. So let's see what's wrong. Oh, okay. So let's do the rotate order by X or Y. Let's see that. Interesting. Okay. Let me mess around here. Let's see. What would that do? Can increase the amplitude. Yeah, here we go. So now, wherever it's white, it will basically have uh, the primitives on full uh, full size, and then when it's at black, it's gonna be at 0. So for example, you wanted to change this. So you want to add, for example, another, let's say white, or we want it to just have the whole thing white. It depends on your preference, but let's say over time, you'll have something like this. So basically the noise is just going through it, and wherever it's passing through, the white will basically make the primitive grow, and then when it goes back to dark, it's gonna make it shrink. Okay, so let's say I want to try something else. So let's say I want to make it bounce, like from the middle back. So let me actually try something pretty quickly. Ooh, that was way too fast. Okay, let's try this. It's nothing. Let's give it a little bit more. Alright, that sounds good. Okay. So now I want to try and add another expression to the pivot transform. Oh, it's already been added. Interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and see what happens. So now, if you see, wherever it's black, it's actually going to the center. And wherever it's white, it's moving away from the center. So this is going to be interesting because I feel like if you go, for example, here and just get it out just a little bit under it and then play it, you'll have an effect like this. That's pretty cool. Okay, now let's say I want to mix the two together. So what you can do is actually create another, or just copy this one and then attach it here, and then copy this, copy the primitive, and attach it to the bottom. And what you want to do is bring back the other expression. So it was $CEX, and then $CEY, and then $CEZ. So now, let's say I want to have them shrink and grow, and then displace in position. So what I'm thinking, let's add a little bit of a color gradient into it. If I put it on black, it looked like this, and it's cool, but actually let's do this. Let's see how this looks. Feels weird to be honest, but looks pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Get it to be something about here. So you still have the same effect, but this time it will give it a little bit more enhancement to it. Like basically the shield is alive and has motion. Okay. Alright, so now what I want to do is do a measure. attach this here. Okay, let's see how this is gonna look. Okay, looks good. Alright, so now it still looks like just a thin piece of paper, or if you want to call it that, but still looks, it doesn't have a bit of volume, so you don't feel the volume in it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to extrude it again. So I'm going to use extrude. Gonna extrude it again. Alright, so now, but I'm gonna use the group area right here, the attribute name, to extrude it. So, oh, sorry, it's split group and should be using area. Interesting. Let's try and copy this, paste it here. Okay. So I want to check this one. Go to the local and turn on the. Okay, no, not this one. Call this area. Okay, let's see how this is gonna look like. Okay, it's actually working. Alright, so I'm gonna extrude it even more just to give it that volume and see how it looks like. Alright. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, so now if you want to take this into an engine, you're gonna have to divide it again. So I am going to divide again. And let's see how this looks. Alright, still holding up. Okay, so now I am going to do a normal. Then I want to UV this thing. So gonna press space 5. And then I'm gonna do auto UV. And just wait a little bit. Okay, so now when you get a texture through this, it's gonna be a bit random. So if you're trying to do the small wave or like a pulse going through it, this is basically just perfect to do that. Okay, so now I want to add a material to this. Gonna press space 1, dive back in here. Alright, let's see. I am going to use groups, so I'm going to use primitives. Okay, select everything, tab and groups. Or group. Now I have selected everything. Let's call this hex. And I want to make a material. Alright, so I want to assign the group hex to it. Then I'm going to go back and dive into the mat. Gonna click this little icon here for the tool palette. And I'm gonna go to materials, metallic, thinking red this time. Alright, I'm gonna take this one, and then go back to the object, dive back in, and then click the material, find the material. Voila. Looks something like this. Okay. So now I am going to basically take this and add another transform. Sorry, a transform. I didn't put any other ones here. Okay. And now I am going to scale this up to 50. In case you wanted to take it to Unreal, I usually scale it up by 50 or 100, so to be able to see it and not looks like a small dot when you import it in. So there is two ways to do this. You can export this as a geocache, and it would probably be a bit expensive, but if you're doing personal work or something like that, that should be fine. If you want to export it as a animation texture, I haven't I've tested it, but I haven't been able to get the results that I want. It's always something that goes on with it, so I still need to do more testing to see where it's gonna get me. But yeah, this is how it looks like. But of course, you can always add more things to this. So, for example, let's go back a bit. I'm gonna put a null. I'm gonna call this hex out. Okay, so basically that's the way to do this. Um, if you want to add uh, like more things to this to either make it when it's at frame one, it only have one polygon, and then basically it folds out of itself. Like for example, if you go to Joy of Vex, they have pretty freaking awesome ways to do a lot of things with Vex. And for example, oh, sorry, here, there are a lot of things you can try. I've been doing some of my own testing, and I'll be posting some of the things that I've been working with. Um, there was one pretty cool one. Oh, yeah, this thing right here. I wanted to do that to make this start like from literally just like one hexagon, and then have this or something like this actually, sorry. It would basically start from one polygon and then expands into multiple polys. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.